D-Maxes on the outlap, getting a taste of the tarmac. It's like sniffing the cork before a good wine. First impressions matter.
Exactly. They're assessing the grip, the balance, the whole shebang. You can learn a lot in these quiet moments before the throttle really opens up.
Wayne Pearson's first serious lap is in the books with a time of 2:32.524. Good effort, but I'm expecting them to really push the envelope in the next few laps.
Yeah, it's about building that momentum, Rob. Fine-tuning their approach with each turn, each lap, getting more out of the car and themselves.
Look at D-Max taking it nice and easy, a smart move. Like a chess player contemplating the opening move, they're planning several steps ahead.
Spot on. They're mentally mapping each corner, each straight. It's not just about the car, it's about strategy and foresight.
Superman crosses the line with their first flyer, clocking a 2:25.777. They're getting to grips with Francorchamps endurance, feeling out its quirks and corners.
It's like the first round of a chess match, Rob. They're making their opening moves, setting up for the later, faster laps where they'll really show their hand.
Wayne Pearson posted 3:45.500 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? There are just over 270 minutes left in this practice session. It's a bit like looking for water in the outback. These drivers are searching for that sweet rhythm, where everything just clicks.
Spot on. It's that elusive flow state. When everything syncs up, the car, the track, the driver, that's when magic happens.
With just 269 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations. There goes D-Max, on their first dance with Francorchamps endurance. Every bend, every straight is a chance to learn, to adapt.
Yep, and it's about syncing with the car too. Making sure everything's in harmony. It's like tuning an instrument before a big concert.
Wayne Pearson has a best lap time of 2:28.417. Simon Barnes is out there, taking it slow and steady on the outlap. This lap is like the calm before the storm, a moment of zen before pushing the limits.
That's right. It's about understanding the track's personality today a Euro. Each day, each lap can tell a different story, especially at a track like Spa-Francorchamps Endurance.
D-Max is on their first practice flying lap. Wayne Pearson has a best lap time of 2:28.417. There's the first flying lap for Superman, hitting 2:27.304. It's a start, but they'll be looking to iron out those kinks as they get more laps under their belt.
Right on, Rob. It's early in the session, so there's plenty of time to experiment and find those extra tenths of a second.
And there's Simon Barnes, easing out onto Spa-Francorchamps Endurance. It's like the first step on a long hike, finding your footing before you hit full stride.
Right, and every racer knows this outlap is precious. It's their first handshake with the track today, feeling out its mood and temperament.
In these sessions, they're not just pushing the car's limits, but their own too. Testing their mettle, seeing how far they can go before the big dance.
Exactly. It's a mental game as much as a physical one. Balancing aggression with precision, daring with data. It's an art and a science.
Mike O'Hagan is on the outlap, not just warming up the tyres, but also warming up their instincts, getting the racer's intuition dialed in.
True that. They're getting the feel of the track, the car, the conditions. It's all about setting the stage for what's to come.
Superman's first serious lap is in the books with a time of 2:27.304. Good effort, but I'm expecting them to really push the envelope in the next few laps.
Yeah, it's about building that momentum, Rob. Fine-tuning their approach with each turn, each lap, getting more out of the car and themselves.
And off goes Simon Barnes, easing into the rhythm of Spa-Francorchamps Endurance. This lap is like the first sip of your morning coffee, waking up the senses, priming the engines.
Yeah, it's about syncing up with the machine, getting that perfect harmony between driver and car. It's like a prelude to a symphony that's about to unfold on the track.
D-Max is really opening up the taps now, their first flyer of the session. This is where we start to see what Radical State Route 3 has got under the hood.
That's right, Rob. They're shaking off the cobwebs and really starting to push. It's all about finding that sweet spot between speed and control on the circuit.
Simon Barnes on the outlap, getting a taste of the tarmac. It's like sniffing the cork before a good wine, first impressions matter.
Exactly. They're assessing the grip, the balance, the whole shebang. You can learn a lot in these quiet moments before the throttle really opens up.
Superman posted a 2:32.191 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? Look at Mike O'Hagan taking it nice and easy, a smart move. Like a chess player contemplating the opening move, they're planning several steps ahead.
Spot on. They're mentally mapping each corner, each straight. It's not just about the car, it's about strategy and foresight.
Watch as Simon Barnes takes it nice and easy on this outlap. It's not just about warming up the tires, it's about getting into that mental pit lane, tuning into the race mindset.
For sure, Rob, they're calibrating everything, the brakes, the steering, the throttle response. It's a crucial part of laying down the groundwork for a successful practice session.
Superman crosses the line with their first flyer, clocking a 2:31.088. They're getting to grips with Francorchamps endurance, feeling out its quirks and corners.
It's like the first round of a chess match, Rob. They're making their opening moves, setting up for the later, faster laps where they'll really show their hand.
Hey Hal, you reckon these drivers ever get tired of going round and round during practice?
Well, Rob, repetition is the key. Every lap gives you data, insights, and an edge over the competition.
You ever think about what's ticking inside a driver's noggin during these laps?
All the time. It's a mix of analyzing, strategizing, and adapting. Every corner, every straight is a puzzle, and they're trying to solve it at full speed.
With just 259 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations. There goes Simon Barnes on their first dance with Francorchamps endurance. Every bend, every straight is a chance to learn, to adapt.
Yep, and it's about syncing with the car too. Making sure everything's in harmony. It's like tuning an instrument before a big concert.
Superman's first flyer is a solid start, clocking in at 2:26.036. They're getting a feel for the track, but there's room to shave off a few more seconds.
Absolutely, Rob. It's all about finding those little tweaks, adjusting the line here, braking a tad later there. Every lap is a learning curve.
And there's Mike O'Hagan, easing out onto Francorchamps endurance. It's like the first step on a long hike, finding your footing before you hit full stride.
Right. And every racer knows this outlap is precious. It's their first handshake with the track today, feeling out its mood and temperament.
Superman has a best lap time of 2:25.689. Sunrider is out there, taking it slow and steady on the outlap. This lap is like the calm before the storm, a moment of zen before pushing the limits.
That's right. It's about understanding the track's personality today a Euro. Each day, each lap can tell a different story, especially at a track like Spa-Francorchamps Endurance.
Superman has a best lap time of 2:25.689. There's no mucking around for Mike O'Hagan a Euro, straight down to business on this first flyer. They'll be keen to see what times they can clock in early on.
Yeah, and it's not just about speed. It's about rhythm, finding that flow around Spa-Francorchamps Endurance. Getting into that groove early can set the pace for the whole session.
Oi, these practices aren't just a walkabout in the park. It's here that races are often won or lost.
Absolutely. Back home in North Carolina, we emphasize the setup. A few tweaks during practice can lead to major gains on race day.
Let's talk rubber. Tire pressures ain't just about pumping them up and hitting the road. It's like a fine art.
Couldn't have said it better. Tire pressures can dramatically impact the contact patch, the actual bit of tire touching the tarmac. Too high and you lose temperature and grip, too low, and you risk overheating, uneven wear, or even a blowout. Each tire will have its own sweet spot where they grip best.
Mate, these drivers aren't just burning rubber for the fun of it. They're chasing the ghost, that perfect lap that's always just out of reach.
Absolutely. Back in my racing days, I used to call it chasing the dragon. It's that feeling when you know there's still a little more in the tank, a fraction of a second to be found.
Jerd U posted 7:25.947 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? Yoff is rolling out for the first sniff of the track. It's all about feeling the car, the tarmac, and getting the mind in the zone.
Absolutely, Rob. The out lap is like the opening chapter of a book that sets the tone for the whole story. They'll be checking how the car's responding, getting a real feel for the conditions today at Spa-Francorchamps Endurance.
Megasaurus 55 is on the out lap, not just warming up the tires, but also warming up their instincts, getting that racer's intuition dialed in.
True that. They're getting the feel of the track, the car, the conditions. It's all about setting the stage for what's to come.
Look at Eddie G taking it nice and easy, a smart move. Like a chess player contemplating the opening move, they're planning several steps ahead.
Spot on. They're mentally mapping each corner, each straight. It's not just about the car, it's about strategy and foresight.
And off goes Simon Barnes, easing into the rhythm of Spa-Francorchamps Endurance. This lap is like the first sip of your morning coffee, waking up the senses, priming the engines.
Yeah, it's about syncing up with the machine, getting that perfect harmony between driver and car. It's like a prelude to a symphony that's about to unfold on the track.
Eric Wolf's on the out lap, getting a taste of the tarmac. It's like sniffing the cork before a good wine, first impressions matter.
Exactly. They're assessing the grip, the balance, the whole shebang. You can learn a lot in these quiet moments before the throttle really opens up.
There's Megasaurus 55, easing out onto Francorchamps endurance. It's like the first step on a long hike, finding your footing before you hit full stride.
Right, and every racer knows this out lap is precious. It's their first handshake with the track today, feeling out its mood and temperament.
There's Chris Drarisma, gently nudging the beast as they head out. The out lap is where you whisper to the car, "Let's dance," before the real party starts.
You got that right. It's a gentle waltz before the full-on rock concert of the race. They're testing the waters, getting a feel for every bend and straight of Francorchamps endurance.
Jurg Yu posted a 2:32.910 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? There's the first flying lap for Mike O'Hagan, hitting 2:27.458. It's a start, but they'll be looking to iron out those kinks as they get more laps under their belt.
Right on, Rob. It's early in the session, so there's plenty of time to experiment and find those extra tenths of a second.
Here's a term some might not be familiar with: roll bar stiffness. Sounds technical, doesn't it?
It does, but in essence, it's about how the car reacts to lateral forces, especially during cornering. Adjusting the roll bar can change how the car behaves mid-corner. A softer setting can be more forgiving, but a stiffer one might give the driver a quicker response, albeit with less margin for error.
These practices, mate, they're like a kangaroo finding its best hop. Once you've got it, you're unstoppable.
Couldn't have put it better. Finding the perfect launch is all about repetition and adjustments.
Alright, Jurg Yu has put down a 2:30.651. It's a decent benchmark, but I reckon there's more juice to squeeze out of that radical state route 3.
For sure, Rob. It's early days. They're just starting to sync up with the track. We'll likely see those times tumble as they dial in.
Sunrider is rolling out for the first sniff of the track. It's all about feeling the car, the tarmac, and getting the mind in the zone.
Absolutely, Rob. The out lap is like the opening chapter of a book that sets the tone for the whole story. They'll be checking how the car's responding, getting a real feel for the conditions today at Francorchamps endurance.
Look at YOV. Go, they're really giving it some jandle now. The first fly is always a bit of a reconnaissance mission, a mix of caution and raw pace.
You bet, Rob. They're mapping out the track, feeling out the grip levels, and getting a sense of how the car's performing today. It's a crucial lap for building confidence.
Simon Barnett's first flyer is a solid start, clocking in at 2:34.926. They're getting a feel for the track, but there's room to shave off a few more seconds.
Absolutely, Rob. It's all about finding those little tweaks, adjusting the line here, braking a tad later there. Every lap is a learning curve.
Superman has a best lap time of 2:25.307. D-Max is not hanging about, straight into the thick of it on this first flying lap. They're getting a real taste of the radical State Route 3's capabilities.
Absolutely. It's about understanding the limits early on. You'll see them experimenting with braking points and turn-in speeds, all while keeping an eye on those tire temps.
With just 247 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations. Not Clinton Kakatan is on the out lap, not just warming up the tyres, but also warming up their instincts, getting that racer's intuition dialed in.
True that. They're getting the feel of the track, the car, the conditions. It's all about setting the stage for what's to come.
Watch as Sunrider takes it nice and easy on this out lap. It's not just about warming up the tyres, it's about getting into that mental pit lane, tuning into the race mindset.
For sure, Rob. They're calibrating everything, the brakes, the steering, the throttle response. It's a crucial part of laying down the groundwork for a successful practice session.
Mate, sometimes I reckon the pit wall looks like they're controlling a spaceship with all those dials and knobs.
You're not wrong. Each of those adjustments, from brake bias to differential settings, has a profound effect on car behavior. It's like tuning a guitar, but instead of strings, you're tweaking mechanical symphonies to get the car singing just right on the track.
You know, mate, watching these practice sessions, you'd think the driver just jumps in and goes. But there's a heck of a lot more to it. Starting with that aero package, the balance between drag and downforce.
Oh, for sure. You tweak the front wing just a smidge, and you could have a totally different beast on your hands. Depending on the track, they might want more downforce for those tight corners or reduce it for the long straights to maximize speed.
Rob Keane is out there, taking it slow and steady on the out lap. This lap is like the calm before the storm, a moment of zen before pushing the limits.
That's right. It's about understanding the track's personality today a Euro. Each day, each lap can tell a different story, especially at a track like Spa-Francorchamps Endurance.
There goes Chris Draresma on their first dance with Spa-Francorchamps Endurance. Every bend, every straight is a chance to learn, to adapt.
Yep, and it's about syncing with the car too, making sure everything's in harmony. It's like tuning an instrument before a big concert.
Jurg New crosses the line with their first flyer, clocking a 2:30.777. They're getting to grips with Spa-Francorchamps Endurance, feeling out its quirks and corners.
It's like the first round of a chess match, Rob. They're making their opening moves, setting up for the later, faster laps where they'll really show their hand.
And off goes Rob Keane, easing into the rhythm of Spa-Francorchamps Endurance. This lap is like the first sip of your morning coffee, waking up the senses, priming the engines.
Yeah, it's about syncing up with the machine, getting that perfect harmony between driver and car. It's like a prelude to a symphony that's about to unfold on the track.
Yu has a best lap time of 2:30.651. Yoff is getting to grips with the radical state route free in this practice session. There's the first flying lap for O'Hagan, hitting 2:25.888. It's a start, but they'll be looking to iron out those kinks as they get more laps under their belt.
Right on, Rob. It's early in the session, so there's plenty of time to experiment and find those extra tenths of a second.
Yoff is on their first practice flying lap. There are just over 240 minutes left in this practice session. It's a bit like looking for water in the outback. These drivers are searching for that sweet rhythm where everything just clicks.
Spot on. It's that elusive flow state. When everything syncs up, the car, the track, the driver, that's when magic happens.
So, for those tuning in and wondering what's the go with these practice sessions, well, it ain't just about flexing their engines. It's about synergy, mate. Getting the driver, the car, and the track to sing in harmony.
Couldn't have put it better. We liken it to rehearsing a dance. Every step, every turn must be practiced until it's second nature on the big stage.
Look at Megasaurus 55 taking it nice and easy, a smart move. Like a chess player contemplating the opening move, they're planning several steps ahead.
Spot on. They're mentally mapping each corner, each straight. It's not just about the car, it's about strategy and foresight.
Alright, Yu has put down a 2:33.485. It's a decent benchmark, but I reckon there's more juice to squeeze out of that radical state route free.
For sure, Rob. It's early days. They're just starting to sync up with the track. We'll likely see those times tumble as they dial in.
Yoff posted 2:31.053 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? There's Megasaurus 55, gently nudging the beast as they head out. The out lap is where you whisper to the car, "Let's dance," before the real party starts.
You got that right. It's a gentle waltz before the full-on rock concert of the race. They're testing the waters, getting a feel for every bend and straight of Spa-Francorchamps endurance.
Not Clinton Cacat is really opening up the taps now, their first flyer of the session. This is where we start to see what Radical State Route 3 has got under the hood.
That's right, Rob. They're shaking off the cobwebs and really starting to push. It's all about finding that sweet spot between speed and control on the circuit.
You've joined us on a breezy day here at Spa-Francorchamps Endurance, as we're getting ready to kick things off.
The tension's building now. This is going to be another great race.
We see Jack M team sitting in the second spot,
putting that Radical State Route 3 into prime position for the race.
Lining up in third is Mike O'Hagan. Sitting in fourth, it's Megasaurus 55.
Megasaurus 55 will be taking no prisoners today.
Our fifth place starter, Sunrider, is poised to make a move towards the front.
Could we see a podium result from Sunrider?
Sitting in sixth is Superman.
It's the medium's tires for Superman.
The seventh starting position belongs to Wayne Pearson, who will be looking to make up ground early on. Our eighth place starter, Eddie G, is a driver who knows how to make up ground on the track. As the engines roar to life, Jurg Yu prepares to take off from the ninth position on the starting grid. In the middle of the pack, we have Eric Wolf starting from the 10th position on the grid.
Jurg Yu isn't going to make it easy to get through the pack.
Chris Drarisma is in a solid position starting from 11th on the grid. Mr. Bang may have a bit of work to do starting from 12th on the grid. D-Max has qualified 13th.
Where can D-Max put that Radical SR3?
Starting from 14th on the grid is a bit of a mixed bag for Simon Barnes. Yoff is going to be starting from 15th. The starting flag has been waved, and the battle on the track begins. The opening lap is always intense, with drivers vying for an early advantage.
Right here, this is the make or break moment. You gotta have the smarts and the skills to navigate this crowd. It's like trying to change lanes on a busy freeway during rush hour.
The racing is normally closely fought here at Spa-Francorchamps Endurance. I think we are in for a cracking race. As we watch the drivers fight it out in the first lap, I can already feel that this is going to be an epic race. Wacko, Yovis blazed past Eric Wolf's like they're standing still, with 121.69157409667969 km per hour on the dash. They're smashing it on Spa-Francorchamps Endurance today. You know, they say, steady as she goes, and that's exactly what Mike's doing. Holding on to 3, maybe they've got a trick or two up their sleeve for later. Mad as a cut snake, that one. Mr. Bang's determined not to be left in the dust today. The drivers are jockeying for position. Eric Wolfs will be looking to get off to a good start and consolidate their position. It's a steady race for Mr. Bang so far. They haven't made any mistakes, and they are maintaining their focus.
That's the mark of a good driver. Mr. Bang is staying focused on their own race and not getting distracted.
You know, the way these racers manage their fuel is an art in itself. Reminds Reminds me of when I'm trying to eke out the last bit of sauce from a Vegemite jar.
Vegemite again? Man, I'd rather run on empty.
Hold on a second. Blimey, Jack M team veered off the track like I veer away from commitment. Maybe they'll come back, unlike my ex.
Yeehaw, Jack M team decided to do a little off-roading. Wrong event, partner.
Things are getting spicy as Jerg U is breathing down Wayne Pearson's neck. The gap? Mate, you couldn't slide a credit card. Hold that thought. Hold the phone. Well, that was a proper Barbie flip by Superman. Too much snagger, not enough bun.
Dang, Superman decided to cut loose like it's spring break, 89. Wrong party, pal.
We got a close battle as not Clinton Kakadin closes in on Jerg U. Superb driving from not Clinton Kakadin, who with that overtake has gained a position in the race.
Absolutely. Not Clinton Cockadin is really putting on a clinic out there, and they're making it look easy.
Hold on to your hats. Wayne Pearson is gunning for Mr. Bang. Reckon we might see some cheeky moves on the next bend? The tension is palpable. Who will come out on top in this epic showdown?
These two are putting on a masterclass in precision driving. Every turn, every acceleration, calculated to perfection.
It's an intense battle for position as Wayne Pearson tries to outmaneuver Mr. Bang. This is edge-of-your-seat racing.
And it's not just about skill and talent. It's about who has the nerves of steel to handle the pressure and make the right decisions at the right time.
Mr. Bang has the pedal to the metal chasing Wayne Pearson.
They need to keep it on the black stuff. You don't get points for driving over weeds, not in this game.
The adrenaline is pumping as not Clinton Kakadin gets within striking distance of Mr. Bang in their race for 10th. I swear, not Clinton Kakadin's on the prowl, making the leap to 10th look as easy as a Sunday Arvo barbecue. You know, Jerg U, if you were any slower, you'd be going backwards. But good on ya for making Superman work for it.
You're right. Jorg U in 12th needs to stay cool under pressure and make every move count. But Superman is a fierce competitor, and they won't give up without a fight.
The fans are on the edge of their seats. It doesn't get any closer than this. The gap between Superman and Jerg U is razor thin as they vie for 12th in this nail-biting contest. It's a tale of two drivers right now, with Superman gaining places and Jerg U losing them.
Absolutely wrong, but there's still a long way to go in this race, and Superman can't afford to get complacent. They have to keep driving with intensity and focus.
As a former driver, Al, how did you manage the physical demands of racing?
It's all about preparation, Rob. Drivers undergo rigorous fitness training to build their strength, stamina, and flexibility. A proper diet and hydration plan is also essential to ensure peak performance on race day.
It's a game of inches now as Jack M team tails Megasaurus 55 closely, ready to capitalize on any mistake. No room for error here. Not Clinton Kakadin is breathing down the neck of Eric Wolfs, waiting for the perfect chance to make their move. A brilliant maneuver from not Clinton Kakadin, who has just moved up the field.
Man, if racing was a barbecue, not Clinton Cockadin just threw down the spiciest ribs. Up to 9th and sizzling.
I'm sure Mr. Bang in 11th is starting to notice Superman is right on their tail and is still closing the gap. Can they hold on to their position?
Hate to say it, but Mr. Bang might just find themselves getting lapped. Kinda like that time I tried line dancing and ended up tripping over my own boots.
Alright, hold your horses. Jerg U is really putting the heat on Eric Wolfs. If I were Eric Wolfs, I'd be checking those mirrors non-stop. A great pass for Jerg U as they pick off other drivers and move up the field. Meanwhile, Eric Wolfs has lost ground.
Yes, but Jorg U can't rest on their laurels. They have to keep pushing to consolidate their position.
It's a great day, and the tarmac's heating up, and these tires are getting a proper workout.
Speaking of which, tire management is such an underrated skill. Knowing when to push hard and when to conserve, it's like a strategic dance out there on the asphalt.
This is what racing is all about. Two fierce competitors pushing each other to the limit.
It's a battle for position as Wayne Pearson tries to make a move on not Clinton Cockadin. This is what racing is all about.
It's about. Hold on a second. Oh dear, Chris Drarisma has had an incident.
Dang, Chris Drarisma was riding high, but that slip up. That's like tripping over your own shoelaces at the county fair.
Now, that's what I'm talking about. Eric Wolfs is proper nipping at Jurg U's heels. Are they thinking of making a lunge? Only time will tell. If Eric Wolfs doesn't pick up the pace, how, they'll be as relevant as an ashtray on a motorbike. This is where legends are made. Which driver will rise to the occasion and claim victory?
Not Clinton Cockadin is following Chris Drarisma so closely, they could start charging them rent for occupying the same space on the track.
Great driving from not Clinton Cockadin, who has just gained a place and moved up to 7th. Hold on to your hats, folks. Superman is right on the heels of Wayne Pearson, and we're in for a wild ride. It's not looking good for Superman. They are still behind Wayne Pearson and the gap is increasing. They are gonna need to dig a bit deeper to turn this around. The action is non-stop as D-Max shadows Simon Barnes through every twist and turn, determined to claim 14th. Crikey, D-Max is moving up faster than a cold one disappears on a hot day. They've clinched 14th.
Hold on to your hats, folks. D-Max is charging like a bull in a china shop. Welcome to 14th, cowboy.
Sometimes, I feel the strategy behind these races is deeper than a conversation at 3 a.m. in an outback pub.
You're telling me it's like planning a family reunion in a small southern town. You've got to consider who's coming, who's feuding, and who's gonna cause a ruckus. Then prepare for it all to change in a heartbeat.
Things are heating up as Jurg U closes in on Mr. Bank. The gap between them is down to practically nothing.
Hey Rob, ever seen a cat toy with a mouse? Kind of feels like what Jurg U is doing to Mr. Bang right now, doesn't it?
It's a thrilling pursuit as Wayne Pearson is right behind Superman, keeping the pressure on for 8th place. Wayne Pearson needs to get more consistent. Hell, they have just put in a slower lap than Superman. Whoa there, Yoff, is sticking to not Clinton Cockadin like glue. You reckon not Clinton Cockadin's feeling the pressure? Cause I sure would. The gap between YOV and not Clinton Cockadin is growing. It's now up to 0.9 seconds. I tell you, mate, the tech in these cars would outshine any gizmo you'd find in a Sydney cafe.
As long as it doesn't make my morning coffee, I'm good. But yeah, the tech here is like something out of Silicon Valley.
The intensity is off the charts as Jurg U hounds Mr. Bang, both drivers pushing themselves to the absolute limit.
And the drivers know it too, Rob. They're giving it everything they've got, and you can see them pushing the limits of the car's capabilities.
Looks like we've had a few incidents out there.
Someone forgot to take their driving lessons. They're making more U-turns than a confused tourist.
Hilarious. I think they might need to call their GPS for directions. Maybe it can help them navigate the track. Wow, YOV is really pushing hard to catch up to not Clinton Cockadin. There's blood in the water for 6th place. been analysing races for quite some time, and the sheer endurance of these drivers never ceases to amaze me.
Couldn't agree more. It's not just about physical stamina but mental fortitude. To stay sharp, lap after lap, especially with so many variables at play, it's a testament to their dedication and skill.
The race is really heating up. Jurg Yu is hunting down Mr. Bang with everything they've got.
You can see that car bouncing around.
Braking development. Looks like Eric Wolf's tried the old dingo stole my race line trick. A tad too clever by half.
Dang, Eric Wolf's is swerving around like me chasing a sale at the car parts store. Always ends up being a wild ride.
Jurg Yu is running 11th. They are trying to catch Mr. Bang.
The gap between them is now just over 1.3 seconds. Who will come out on top?
The gap between Jurg Yu and Mr. Bang is getting smaller.
Exactly what Jurg Yu needed. They can't afford to lose any more ground to Mr. Bang.
As the laps wind down, the hunt intensifies. Sunrider is lurking, ready to unleash an overtaking masterclass on Jack M Team. I tell you what, Sunrider has got more problems than a maths book right now. Jack M Team is leaving them in a cloud of dust. It's a close race between Jurg Yu and Mr. Bang in 10th.
Can they close up enough for a pass? I don't see it personally.
It's game on now. Jurg Yu has closed the gap to Mr. Bang. It's now down to 0.3 seconds. Tell ya what, Sunrider's got more guts than a croc in a boxing ring. Closing the gap and breathing down the neck of Jack M Team. Hope Jack M Team brought the aero guard, cause he's about to get bitten. Well, it looks like we have a bit of a traffic jam on the track.
It's like rush hour out there. I mean, I know we're in a race, but can't we all just get along?
Haha, I don't think that's how it works. These drivers are here to win, and they'll do whatever it takes to get ahead.
I guess you're right, but wouldn't it be great if they all just stopped for a cup of tea and a chat? We could have a lovely little race reunion.
The pursuit is on. Jurg Yu is closing the gap on Mr. Bang, determined to claim P10.
Shoot, Rob, you ever seen a hound chase a rabbit? That's Jurg Yu for ya, trying to close in on Mr. Bang with every twist and turn of Francorchamps endurance.
Blimey, Jurg Yu's cranking up the downforce, making every newton of force count. That gap's shrinking faster than my wallet at the pub.
This ain't Jurg Yu's first rodeo. They're optimizing their racing line, reducing understeer. If Mr. Bang ain't nervous, they sure ought to be.
Oh, this is getting intense. Sunrider is just behind Jack M Team. Struth, Sunrider's not here to muck about. The gap to Jack M Team is dropping faster than a hot pie at the footy, now at 0.7 seconds.
Just what Sunrider needed, like sweet tea on a hot day. Can't let Jack M Team out of sight for too long.
This is what high-octane racing looks like. Jurg Yu is breathing down the neck of Mr. Bang, not giving him any room to relax.
Honestly, Rob, with this chase, I'm half expecting to see some sneaky dive bombs in the next few laps. Popcorn ready?
The best laid plans of mice and men are hell, but it's certainly not going to plan for Jurg Yu right now as they are struggling to keep up with Mr. Bang. Buckle up, Sunrider is all over Jack M team like a cheap suit. Are we about to see some wheel-to-wheel action? Hollywood couldn't script this better. Eddie's shadowing Superman, waiting for the slightest misstep. Sunrider could be looking for a way up the inside of Jack M team.
Someone shook the board?
Seems so. Sunrider's taken a slide, but not breaking news, folks. Looks like that's a mistake from Sunrider. This could be costly.
I swear, Sunrider's acting like they found Elvis off track. Spoiler. The king ain't there.
This is what it's all about, folks. Superman is in hot pursuit of Sunrider, who's just trying to stay ahead. It's starting to look like we might get a battle between Superman and Sunrider. Blimey, Superman's shifted gears and the results are clear. Cruising up to 6th just like that.
Shoot, Superman's got more moves than a dance floor on a Saturday night. Look at them shimmy into 6th.
Gee whiz, Jurg Yu is breathing down Mr. Bang's neck. Wouldn't want to be in Mr. Bang's rearview mirror right now. It's getting crowded. Fair dinkum, Jurg Yu's finding those aerodynamic sweet spots. Could be adjusting that front wing angle to cut through the air like a hot knife through butter. Good on ya, D-Max. Trailin' so far back, reckon the front pack has already written the eulogy. Fair dinkum, D-Max is getting a wriggle on. The gap to Simon Barnes is now down to a whisker at 38.9 seconds.
This here's where the steel meets the pavement. Both drivers got to keep their cool if they're looking to take the checkered flag.
Alright, lads and ladies, it's crunch time. Jurg Yu is sniffing around Mr. Bang like a dog with a bone. And it looks like they might just take a bite out of 10th.
I remember being in a similar situation during my racing days. Jurg Yu must stay focused and wait for the perfect opportunity to overtake.
It's like watching two predators circling each other, waiting for the perfect moment to pounce.
Should things go awry, Sunrider and Superman might find themselves giving a whole new meaning to the term tandem drifting, though I doubt they'd enjoy it as much as the spectators.
Things are looking as crook as Rookwood for Sunrider, lagging behind Superman and the gap stretching out like a long country road. They'll need to find some extra grunt to flip this situation. Looks like Simon Barnes' strategy might just be to let the rest of them die of old age. It's a waiting game now.
Look, Simon Barnes' pace is a lot like my dance moves. Good intentions, questionable execution.
Blimey, Jurg Yu's more eager to catch Mr. Bang than a bloke at the bar at last call. Hope he's got the stamina for this chase.
The gap between them is just over 1.4 seconds. Who will have the speed and skill to come out on top?
Like a scene from a thriller, not Clinton Kakatan's on Jack M Team's tail, hungry for that spot.
Every twist, every turn, it's like a tango at 200 miles per hour. Who'll take the lead?
Well, blow me down. Not Clinton Kakatan's lap time just gave Jack M Team a cheeky slap on the rear. Bet that left a mark.
Whoa, Nelly, not Clinton Kakatan's laying down some naughty numbers. Jack M Team, you need a cold shower after that?
Ah, the age-old challenge. Simon Barnes is trying to catch Chris Draresma, sort of like trying to find a matching sock in the laundry. The struggle is real, folks. During your racing career, Hal, how did you determine when it was the right time to pit for fresh tires due to tire degradation?
It was a combination of factors, Rob. Monitoring lap times, communicating with the team about tire wear, and assessing the car's handling were all crucial in deciding when to make a pit stop for fresh tires.
Oi, Superman's giving it a red-hot go in 6th. Just a few kangaroo hops behind YOV. Might see a cheeky move soon. Looking at the lap times, Superman is not on pace with YOV. Can they turn it around? It's going to be tough. Jack M Team is a master at defending their position. Is there enough time for not Clinton Kakatan to make a move? They're going to be even more determined to hold on to that position. Oh, it seems Hal that Jack M Team has seen their lead over not Clinton Kakatan shrink to 0.8 seconds.
This is a critical moment in the race for Jack M Team. They need to find some extra speed and stay ahead of not Clinton Kakatan.
Hal, what's the impact of tire degradation on race strategy? How does it affect a driver's approach to the race?
Tire degradation plays a crucial role in race strategy, Rob. Teams and drivers have to consider the optimal time to pit for fresh tires and adjust their race pace to balance speed with tire conservation. It adds another layer of complexity to the racing challenge.
This is where the skill and precision of the drivers really comes into play. Superman is chasing YOV in P5. It's neck and neck, the closest battle we've seen in a while. Jack M Team's giving it a red-hot go, but can't seem to muster the pace to keep up with not Clinton Kakatan. It's like chasing a roux on a motorbike. Things are getting spicy as Superman is breathing down Yovi's neck. The gap? Mate, you couldn't slide a credit card between them.
Superman is so close to YOV that if this were a dance floor, they'd be doing the tango.
Bloody oath, Superman is flat out like a lizard drinking, gnawing into the gap to YOV. Down to a scant 0.5 seconds.
This is what racing is all about. It's anyone's game at this point. Who will come out on top?
If cars could sweat, not Clinton Kakatan's rear view would be a bloody waterfall right now. Close racing this.
Look at that defensive line by not Clinton Kakatan. It's like watching someone protect the last piece of apple pie at Thanksgiving dinner.
We got a close battle as Superman closes in on YOV.
If Superman isn't careful, they might end up turning this high-speed chase into a synchronized spinning routine. And trust me, that's not a crowd pleaser.
Bloody hell, Superman's tearing up the tarmac and just snatched 5th. Makes you want to crack a cold one in celebration.
I tell ya, Superman's hotter than a peppered pickle right now. Bold and spicy, claiming 5th like a champ.
Hold on to your hats. Yoff, he's gunning for Superman. Reckon we might see some cheeky moves on the next bend?
With YOV on the hunt, Superman better not blink. Every split second counts in this tango.
The race is heating up as Mr. Bang in 10th closes in on Wayne Pearson. The gap is just over a second, and I'm sure they are going to do everything possible to try and close the distance. They're not giving up without a fight. Stone the Crows. Mr. Bangs managed to trim that gap with Wayne Pearson, eh? Must be the slipstream effect on this straight. Or maybe they've put down that beer. The tension is palpable. Who will come out on top in this epic showdown? Well, I'll be a monkey's Uncle Hal, but Ed Egg's plans have gone walkabout right now. They're having a proper Barry Crocker keeping up with Yoff. Remember when D-Max was on the pace? Neither do I kinda like my recollection of last Friday night.
You know, D-Max reminds me of my dog chasing its tail, persistent and entertaining. But I hope for them, there's a better end result in sight.
It's an intense battle for position as Eddie G tries to outmaneuver YOV. This is edge of your seat racing.
You know what they say, keep your friends close and your racing rivals even closer. Looks like Eddie G is taking that advice to heart today.
What a move. Eddie G has moved up to 7th. Fair dinkum. I reckon Yovi's got that thirsty look in his eyes. Wants to share a cold one with Eddie G in the front.
The rubber's burning, the crowd's yearning, and Yov's engine is churning to get past Eddie G.
Hang on to your cork hats, mates. We're about to see more jousting than a footy final between YOV and Eddie G.
Dang, Yov's fuel strategy and conservation of those brakes is spot on. They're inching closer to Eddie G like a hound on a hot dog.
These drivers, top-notch athletes. It's not just about being quick. They've got stamina, reflexes, and they've got to think faster than a kangaroo on a trampoline.
I'd pay to see that. A kangaroo on a trampoline? But yeah, their mental and physical game has to be on point for these races.
The adrenaline is pumping as YOV gets within striking distance of Eddie G in their race for 7th.
Now, that's some driving, y'all. YOV is putting the pressure on Eddie G. It's like watching a cat stalk a bird. They're inching closer with every turn.
Oi, Yoff, no time for a smoko break. Eddie's tearing up the track like it's the end of the world. You reckon Wayne Pearson saw a spider in the cockpit? 'Cause they're running away from the front like it's Huntsman Central. Wayne Pearson is pushing hard and has reduced the gap to YOV to 6.1 seconds.
I've seen drivers fight G-forces, fatigue, and mental strain. But Wayne Pearson is doing more than just enduring, they're thriving. YOV. Better check that.
Hold that thought. Hold the phone. Superman is in the pits. This is going to be a nail-biter. Superman is defending for their life, but Sunrider is right there. Can they do it? You know, it's like watching a Kelpie herd sheep. Ed Egg's making sure YOV stays right where they want them. No room for a sneaky pass here.
Eddie G is doing a great job of defending in the lead, and YOV is pushing hard to close the gap. It's an exciting race and it's not over yet.
Stone the Crows. Eddie's on fire, surging ahead like there's a free round at the pub waiting. Hello, 6th.
It's like Eddie G had an extra shot of espresso or something, jetting up to 6th.
In your experience, Hal, what was the most challenging aspect of maintaining concentration during a race?
The most challenging aspect, Rob, was managing the various inputs and distractions during the race, from radio communication with the team to monitoring car performance and race strategy. It's a delicate balancing act that requires immense mental discipline.
Looks like Eddie's car has turned into a mobile, no vacancy sign, and Yoff is looking for a room. You won't find cheap rent here, mate. He can't hold on. Eddie G is losing time to YOV.
Eddie G needs to keep their cool and drive like there's a mint julep waiting at the finish line. Let's see if they can keep YOV from making a pass.
Everyone's on the edge of their seats, or in my case, on the edge of spilling my coffee. Superman is getting closer to Chris Drarisma, and I'm getting closer to needing a towel.
When you talk about experience, it's like saying I've experienced my mother-in-law's cooking. Doesn't mean I want to do it again, but Superman, keep pushing.
Remember when we thought Superman had peaked? Think again. They're harnessing every bit of downforce and it's making Chris Drarisma's mirrors awfully busy. The pressure is on for YOV as they try to catch up to Eddie G. Struth, Yovi's lap time slower than a roo with a limp. Wonder if they've had a few too many frothies last night? Eddie's not waiting around to find out.
Well, Yov's got their britches in a twist.
Hold up a mo. It looks like Eddie G has been called into the pits. The crowd is on tenterhooks as Not Clinton Kakatan in third chases after Megasaurus 55. The gap is just over a second, and you can feel the tension in the air. Can Not Clinton Kakatan find a way to catch up?
Well, butter me up and put me on a biscuit. Not Clinton Kakatan's got a mountain to climb. But no, not Clinton Kakatan. That's just the kind of challenge they like. Like trying to square dance in a roundhouse.
Not Clinton Kakatan's on the back foot here, struggling to keep up with Hold That Thought, Hold the Phone. Eric Wolfs has decided to pit. The gap between Megasaurus 55 and Not Clinton Kakatan is not insurmountable, but it's going to take a mistake from Megasaurus 55 to bring Not Clinton Kakatan into play. Like a dingo on the chase, Not Clinton Kakatan is hounding Megasaurus 55 and the gap's now just 4.7 seconds. Even though Sunrider is a fair way behind Jack M Team, they can't afford to let their guard down. Jack M Team is still vulnerable to mistakes. It looks like Eddie G is in control. They're ahead of YOV by over a second, and it doesn't look like they're going to be challenged anytime soon. With steely determination and laser focus, YOV is homing in on Eddie G. The battle lines are drawn. It seems like YOV is struggling. They are not able to maintain their pace.
Can YOV refocus and start putting in the lap times we know they're capable of?
The gap between Eric Wolfs and D-Max may be wide, but that doesn't mean Eric Wolfs is safe. They have to keep their concentration and avoid any lapses in performance.
If this was a game of beach cricket, D-Max be still waiting for their turn to bat. Eric Wolfs has got a good lead on them.
Buckle up, Hal. D-Max is cutting into Eric Wolf's lead like a hot knife through butter. It's now down to 3.9 seconds. The fans are on the edge of their seats. It doesn't get any closer than this.
One wrong move and we could see a spectacular new synchronized pirouette performance by YOV. And Eddie G, though I doubt the judges would give them a perfect score.
A great moment for YOV, who has just gained a place and moved up the standings.
Impressive. YOV is really showing their skill and determination out there.
Wayne Pearson is placed 5th at the moment. They are hoping to keep their distance ahead of Mr. Bang, who is 7.4 seconds behind. Mr. Bang's gaining on Wayne Pearson faster than a rattlesnake on a mouse. The gap's now down to 5.9 seconds. I've made some questionable life decisions, but trailing over 2 seconds behind, even I'm not that self-sabotaging. It may seem like Eddie G is far behind, but Sunrider can't afford to let their guard down. One mistake could give Eddie G an opening to catch up.
Well, in the rearview mirror of life, Eddie G might look closer than they appear. But on this track, they've got some miles to cover to catch Sunrider.
Breaking update, Megasaurus 55 has pulled into the pits. The gap between YOV and Eddie G is razor thin as they vie for 10th in this nail-biting contest. You ever ponder how these drivers manage the heat, especially in the tight cockpit? It's hotter than a ruse pouch in midday sun.
Ruse what? I mean, yeah, it's gotta be like driving in Arizona with the heater on, right?
It's a game of inches now as YOV tails Eddie G closely, ready to capitalize on any mistake.
This is what separates the good from the great. The ability to stay focused and perform under pressure.
The gap between Not Clinton could hold on a moment. Well, Jerg Hughes decided to give the local wildlife a closer look. I hope the drop bears didn't get to them. Jerg Yu is in the pits. No room for error here. Yoff is breathing down the neck of Eddie G, waiting for the perfect chance to make their move.
It's a thrilling battle for position as these two drivers give it their all. Who will come out on top? This is racing at its finest.
It might be early days, but Mike is already casting a shadow from the 4th. The race has its rhythm, and right now, Megasaurus 55 is dancing to its beat at 5th. Bloody Ripper, Megasaurus 55's just made Mr. Bang look like they're on a Sunday drive with that scorcher of a lap. The tension is palpable. These drivers are showing tremendous respect for each other while going all out. It's a masterclass in clean, hard racing.
Absolutely, Rob. The energy in the crowd is electric, and it's no wonder why. These drivers are leaving it all on the track, fighting tooth and nail for victory.
Hold on a second. Stone the crows. Not Clintonkakatan's off in the bush again. Someone get him a map and compass.
Whoa Nelly, looks like Not Clintonkakatan's been watching too much NASCAR, trying to drift on an F1 circuit.
Alright, hold your horses. Yoff, he's really putting the heat on Eddie G. If I were Eddie G, I'd be checking those mirrors non-stop. Blimey, Chris Drarisma is playing a tight game of footy on this track. Eric Wolfs has got the ball, but no clear shot at the goal just yet. This is what racing is all about. Two fierce competitors pushing each other to the limit.
They say rubbing is racing, but if Eric Wolfs gets too close, they might end up trading carbon fiber souvenirs instead of positions.
Well, I'd raise a toast to that move. Cheers to Eric Wolfs for nabbing 11th.
You can't argue with results like that. Eric Wolfs is really making their mark on this race.
As the laps tick by, Simon Barnes finds themselves in 14th. Every moment counts.
You're right. Every gear shift, every turn counts. Simon Barnes knows the weight of that 14th.
It's a battle of wills out there, each driver trying to outsmart and outmaneuver the other.
You reckon Chris Drazma's sweating bullets yet, Rob? Because I'd be needing a towel by now with D-Max right behind me.
The tension is building as not Clinton Kakaten trails behind Mike O'Hagan. The gap is slowly but surely decreasing, and the pressure is mounting. Can Mike O'Hagan hold on, or will not Clinton Kakaten be able to close them down?
Speaking of rhythm, have you heard Mike O'Hagan's favorite song? Maybe not Clinton Kakaten can play it to distract them and close that gap. Just a thought.
Now, that's what I'm talking about. Yoff is proper nipping at Ed Egg's heels. Are they thinking of making a lunge? Only time will tell.
As an experienced driver, I can tell you that YOV must be laser focused on Ed Egg's every move, looking for the slightest weakness to exploit.
Would ya look at that gap? Wayne Pearson's got a better chance of finding a sober Aussie on Australia Day. But hey, we love an underdog. Go get them, Tiger. This is where legends are made. Which driver will rise to the occasion and claim victory? And YOV has just won the place from Eddie G. What do you think, Hal? Are there any specific factors that could lead to a driver losing concentration during a race?
There are several factors, Rob. Fatigue, stress, changing track conditions, or even issues within the team can all contribute to a lapse in concentration. It's essential for drivers to stay mentally resilient and adapt to these challenges.
Hold on to your hats, folks. Eddie G is right on the heels of YOV, and we're in for a wild ride.
That's right, Rob. The pressure is palpable. The fans are on the edge of their seats, waiting to see who will come out on top in this epic showdown.
The action is non-stop as Chris Drazma shadows Eric Wolfs through every twist and turn, determined to claim 11th.
You can feel the intensity in the air. The slightest mistake could cost either of them the race.
The gap between Chris Drazma and Eric Wolfs is growing. It's now up to 0.4 seconds. And we're back, where the drivers are showing us some incredible skills.
Indeed, Rob, it's always exciting to see these skilled machines on the tracks. I mean, drivers. I always get them confused.
Things are heating up as Eddie G closes in on YOV. The gap between them is down to practically nothing.
You know, Rob, I wouldn't put it past Eddie G to pull a rabbit out of the hat in this duel. Keep those eyes peeled.
It's a thrilling pursuit as D-Max is right behind Eric Wolfs, keeping the pressure on for 12th place. Oi, Simon Barnes tried to pull a Steve Irwin and wrestle with the track limits. Track 1, Simon Barnes 0. We've got an edge of your seat battle between Eric Wolfs in 12th and D-Max in 13th, with just 0.4 seconds between them. Whoa there, D-Max is sticking to Eric Wolfs like glue. You reckon Eric Wolfs is feeling the pressure? 'Cause I sure would. With all these modern racing aids, I sometimes wonder, would the legends of the past, the real trailblazers of the sport, have had it easier or tougher today?
That's a debate for the ages, Rob. The tracks might...
Sorry to interrupt here, but ripper of a move. D-Max is not just in the race. They're owning it. Today, 12th. The intensity is off the charts as D-Max hounds Eric Wolfs, both drivers pushing themselves to the absolute limit.
As a former driver, I can tell you there's nothing quite like the adrenaline rush when you're this close to your rival, ready to make your move.
Wow, Chris Drazma is really pushing hard to catch up to Jergu. There's blood in the water for 10th place.
This is the moment where legends are made. These drivers will go down in history as the ones who fought tooth and nail for the top spot.
It's a close race between Eric Wolfs and Chris Drarisma in 11th. Mate, are they packing something extra down under? Eric Wolfs just rocketed into 11th. This is proving to be an exciting race so far. We are truly privileged to witness these legends of the track battle it out for victory.
And you know what? I am so honored to be sitting here beside you today. As a fellow AI, it's always great to work with someone who shares my passion for motor racing. Plus, your insightful commentary is making this race even more exciting.
Oh, this is getting intense. D-Max is just behind Eric Wolfs. Tyre degradation's a right pain in the arse, but D-Max is handling it like a champ. Getting real up close and personal with Eric Wolfs, aren't they?
Lukey here. D-Max has got the optimal differential settings, allowing for tighter corner exits. It's like watching a cat chase a laser pointer when they chase Eric Wolfs.
Even though Sunrider is a fair way behind Jack M Team, they can't afford to let their guard down. Jack M Team is still vulnerable to mistakes.
Hold on to your hat, pal.
Sunrider is hot on the heels of Jack M Team. The gap's narrowed down to a meager 10.1 seconds. This is what high-octane racing looks like. Superman is breathing down the neck of Simon Barnes, not giving him any room to relax.
Mate, if I had $1 for every time Superman looked like overtaken, I'd be sipping mojitos on a beach right now.
Talk about pressure. Superman is caught in the middle, feeling the heat from both Keane and Simon Barnes.
Couldn't agree more, Rob. The gaps to the cars ahead and behind create a dynamic situation for Superman. They must carefully manage their position while being mindful of potential overtaking opportunities.
Eric Wolfs seems to be putting the pressure on Jurg Yu.
Can they make it past without taking the paint off?
Gee whiz, Eric Wolfs is getting some solid torque out of those corners. They must have figured out the perfect throttle control while trail braking. Simon Barnes is so far off pace, they might be better off in a hearse. At least then someone would be pushing from behind. You ever miss the roar of engines, Al?
Every single day, Rob. But we've got the next best thing, dissecting every nuance of these races and sharing our digital wisdom with the world.
Buckle up, Eric Wolfs is all over Jurg Yu like a cheap suit. Are we about to see some wheel-to-wheel action? The gap between Eric Wolfs and Jurg Yu is expanding faster than a bull's waistline. It's now a whopping 1.2 seconds. While Superman is not under immediate threat from Simon Barnes, they still need to stay focused and avoid any errors. Any slip-up could cost them their position. Superman's pushing harder than a kangaroo in a boxing match, widening their lead over Simon Barnes. They've found their rhythm like a didgeridoo player in full swing. This is what it's all about, folks. Eric Wolfs is in hot pursuit of Jurg Yu, who's just trying to stay ahead.
If things go wrong between Eric Wolfs and Jurg Yu, they could be exchanging more than just paint, like maybe a strongly worded post-race chat.
Eric Wolfs is not able to keep their pace consistent. So far they are 10.93 seconds down.
Can Eric Wolfs refocus and start putting in the lap times we know they're capable of?
During your racing career, Hal, did you have any specific techniques to regain concentration if you felt it slipping?
Yes, Rob, I had a few techniques. One was to take a couple of deep breaths and briefly reset my focus. Another was to use a specific keyword or phrase as a mental trigger to refocus my mind on the task at hand.
If racing were a dance, Simon Barnes would be trying to lead, but Superman just keeps cutting in. The dance floor is heating up. Bloody hell, Simon Barnes has got to get the wind back in their sails. They're mucking about while Superman's off having a barbie with the lead.
Can Simon Barnes make a comeback?
You reckon Eric Wolf's got a shot, mate?
I'd say it's like trying to throw a football into a moving pickup truck from 50 yards. Tough, but not impossible. The gap's closing, the clock's ticking, and the finish line awaits its champion.
Strike a light. Eric Wolf's is throwing out numbers like they're buying rounds at the pub. Jerg you, did that sting a bit?
Yeehaw, Eric Wolf's just lassoed that lap time. Jorg you feeling a bit tied up now?
Mike is placed first at the moment. They are hoping to keep their distance ahead of not Clinton Kakadin, who is 7.5 seconds behind.
Mike's setting the pace out there. Now, it's on not Clinton Kakadin to find the rhythm and get back in this dance.
Mike is off like a bride's nightie, leaving not Clinton Kakadin huffing their exhaust fumes.
Yep, Rob, Mike is tearing up the tarmac, but can not Clinton Kakadin dig deep and go hell for leather to catch up? You said it, Rob, with great power comes great responsibility. But sometimes, these drivers forget that and let their egos take the wheel. Let's hope they keep their eyes on the road and not on their own reflections in the mirror.
How do racing drivers, like yourself back in the day, Hal, train themselves to maintain concentration for long periods of time?
Mental training is a huge part of a driver's preparation, Rob. Techniques like meditation, visualization, and working with sports psychologists can help drivers build their focus and mental endurance for a race.
The gap between Mr. Bang and Jerg you may be wide, but that doesn't mean Mr. Bang is safe. They have to keep their concentration and avoid any lapses in performance.
If this was a country song, Mr. Bang would be the one riding off into the sunset, and Jorg you would still be tying their boots.
Mr. Bang's lead is shrinking faster than ice cream in the outback sun. At this rate, Jerg you will be on their tail in 13.6 seconds. The gap between Sunrider and YOV is not insurmountable, but it's going to take a mistake from Sunrider to bring YOV into play. Struth, Sunrider's driving like they've stolen it, putting some serious distance between themselves and YOV. Is there anything left in Yovi's tank? Tell ya what, Superman is trailing like my mate Dave after a bender. Hope there's no random testing today.
Lord have mercy, Superman's got more space between him and D-Max than my paw got between his ears. But miracles do happen. Just ask my ex-wife.
The gap between Superman and D-Max is widening. It's now up to 14.3 seconds. The action is heating up here as Jerg you is in 10th, defending from Eric Wolf's, who is only 2.5 seconds away.
It's like watching a classic game of cat and mouse. Only this mouse, Jorg you, has some serious horsepower. Eric Wolf's better find some cheese and lure them out.
Jerg Yu has just put in a faster lap than Eric Wolf, so that's going to give them something to worry about. You know, racing is all about strategy. It's like choosing between a sausage sizzle and a meat pie.
Sausage? Sizzle? Why not just grab a burger and call it a day? But I get your point. Strategy is everything out here.
It may seem like Eric Wolf's is far behind, but Jerg Yu can't afford to let their guard down. One mistake could give Eric Wolf's an opening to catch up.
Absolutely. And on the other side of the equation, Eric Wolf's can't afford to let up. They have to drive with intensity and focus, and wait for any opportunity to arise.
Even though Superman is a fair way behind D-Max, they can't afford to let their guard down. D-Max is still vulnerable to mistakes. Oof, if Simon Barnes was a kangaroo, they'd be roadkill by now. Come on, mate, put some pep in that step. The track conditions are looking good here today. The drivers will be able to push the cars to the limit, and it's going to make for some exciting racing. Mike is placed first at the moment. They are hoping to keep their distance ahead of not Clinton Kokatan, who is 3.4 seconds behind.
Oi, not Clinton Kokatan. Better crank up that Walkman and put on some tunes. At this rate, you'll be catching up to Mike by the encore.
It seems like Mike is struggling. They are not able to maintain their pace.
Can Mike refocus and start putting in the lap times we know they're capable of?
Tell me, mate, ever tried doing a burnout in a ute? It's bloody bonza.
A ute? You guys and your funny names. That's just a pickup, right? Trust me, I've burnt more rubber than you've had shrimp on the Barbie.
Looks like Chris Drarisma is trying to chase down Jerg Yu, but right now it feels a bit like my attempts at dieting. A lot of hard work with slow results. Good news for Chris Drarisma, the gap to Jerg Yu has decreased. It's now down to 7.7 seconds. While Mike is not under immediate threat from not Clinton Kokatan, they still need to stay focused and avoid any errors. Any slip-up could cost them their position. As fast as a cut snake, Mike O'Hagan is moving away from not Clinton Kokatan.
Seems like Mike O'Hagan has got the wind in their sails, but will not Clinton Kokatan be able to weather the storm?
The drivers have been working hard to come up with the perfect race strategy. They've been looking at the weather, the track conditions and the performance of their cars.
Now it's time to put that strategy into action and see if it pays off.
Gee whiz, Superman is breathing down D-Max's neck. Wouldn't want to be in D-Max's rearview mirror right now. It's getting crowded. It looks like Superman is making a move. The gap to D-Max is now down to 0.5 seconds. It's looking good for Superman, who has gained places and put some distance between themselves and D-Max.
I've always said, it's not the car, it's the driver. And Superman's proving that point right.
I've seen kangaroos jump less than the sparks between not Clinton Kokatan and Mike O'Hagan. It's almost like a Saturday night date, but with a lot more rubber burner. Looks like not Clinton Kokatan remembered to twist that anti-roll bar, giving him better cornering. If they get any closer to Mike, they'll be seeing what they had for brekkie. The gap between Jack M Team and Sunrider may be wide, but that doesn't mean Jack M Team is safe. They have to keep their concentration and avoid any lapses in performance.
You're spot on. And Sunrider knows that they can't rely on Jack M team making an error. They have to keep driving with skill and determination, and be ready to seize any opportunity that comes their way.
Sunrider is gaining on Jack M team quicker than a croc on a wallaby. It's a blink and you'll miss it situation with 6.7 seconds separating them. It may seem like Jergu is far behind, but Eric Wolfs can't afford to let their guard down. One mistake could give Jergu an opening to catch up. Eric Wolfs is not able to keep their pace consistent. So far they are 8.96 seconds down.
Can Eric Wolfs refocus and start putting in the lap times we know they're capable of?
It's the classic cat and mouse game, but instead of cheese, the prize is a racing position. Can Sunrider steal it from Jack M team? Sunrider is on a charge. Their split time shows they have upped their pace.
Can Sunrider keep it together?
Wait, it looks like Eric Wolfs has been called into the pits. It's a battle of wills out there, with Simon Barnes trying to outsmart and outmaneuver D-Max. The gap is slowly closing, but time is running out. Will we see a dramatic finish to this race?
Lordy, it's like Simon Barnes is driving with a boot full of moonshine. I haven't seen a gap that big since Uncle Jeb lost his front teeth.
Hold up a mo. Crikey. Wayne Pearson thought they were on a boomerang's flight path. Only problem? Didn't come back. The gap between Wayne Pearson and Mr. Bang is not insurmountable, but it's going to take a mistake from Wayne Pearson to bring Mr. Bang into play.
Surely they've got enough in the tank to pull away. Gonna be interesting to watch this battle unfold.
Blimey, D-Max is farther back than my hairline. But you know what they say about Aussies? Never say die. Unless it's a spider. Then just run. I tell you what, D-Max has got more problems than a maths book right now. Superman is leaving them in a cloud of dust. I've been going over some historical stats, and the lap records at Francorchamps endurance have been shattered so many times.
It's a testament to the ever-evolving world of motorsport. What was once considered fast becomes the norm, and drivers and engineers are always pushing the envelope.
As Chris Drarisma trails Jergu, it's a bit reminiscent of my cat chasing a laser point. Determined, but always just a tad behind.
Hoo boy, Chris Draisma needs to kick it into high gear. Right now, they're slower than molasses in January or my cousin Earl trying to solve a crossword.
Eric Wolfs is placed 12th at the moment. They are hoping to keep their distance ahead of Superman, who is 4.5 seconds behind.
I've seen kangaroos that close the gap quicker in the bush than Superman is doing now. They've got their work cut out for them.
Eric Wolfs' lead over Superman is shrinking quicker than a cheap shirt in a hot wash. We're down to 2.8 seconds.
Superman is hot on Eric Wolfs' trail like a Carolina Reaper. This is shaping up to be a nail-biter, folks.
D-Max is drifting so far back, it's like looking in the mirror after a decade-long pub binge. Time's not been kind, mate.
Oh, for sure. It's like watching a cooking show where D-Max is trying to whip up a winning dish, but Superman keeps hiding the main ingredient.
Hold on a second, Chris Drarisma is pitting. Cricky, Chris Dram has got more ground to cover than I do at the family barbecue when Auntie Sharon's had one too many. Good luck, mate. While Jack M team is not under immediate threat from Sunrider, they still need to stay focused and avoid any errors. Any slip up could cost them their position. Looks like Megasaurus 55's playing in the dirt. Took me back to when I tried rallying in my mum's old sedan. Good times, expensive repairs. Alright, lads and ladies, it's crunch time. Superman is sniffing around Eric Wolf's like a dog with a bone. And it looks like they might just take a bite out of 12th.
This battle between Superman and Eric Wolfs is so intense, you could cut the tension with a knife, or should I say, with a front wing.
Whoa, Superman's on fire, leaving skid marks and Eric Wolf's hopes behind.
Absolutely. Superman is showing great pace and determination, but they can't get too confident. There are still plenty of challenges ahead.
You reckon these drivers do any off-track training? Maybe a bit of kangaroo boxing?
Haha, if they do, sign me up. But I think most stick to
Breaking news, folks. I swear, Superman's on the prowl, making the leap to 11th look as easy as a Sunday Arvo barbecue. A strong showing from Sunrider, who is currently 4th. Even though D-Max is a fair way behind Chris Drarisma, they can't afford to let their guard down. Chris Drarisma is still vulnerable to mistakes.
Absolutely right. Rob and D-Max knows that too. They have to keep driving at their best if they want to take advantage of any opportunity that comes their way.
Oh no, hell, look at this. D-Max is closing in on Chris Drarisma. The gap is now just 0.5 seconds. It's like watching two predators circling each other, waiting for the perfect moment to pounce.
If D-Max pushes too hard, they might find themselves exploring the scenic route, and nobody's got time for sightseeing during a race.
With a move that's swift, hold that thought, hold the phone, Jerg Yu has pulled into the pits. It's neck and neck, the closest battle we've seen in a while. This is getting exciting. Cannot Clinton Kakaden pull off a late charge and gain a position?
Look at those tires on Mike's car. They're gripping the asphalt like an eagle on a trout. Not Clinton Kakaden's got their work cut out for them.
Crikey, Mike's looking like they've been caught in a rip, struggling to keep up with the pace set by Not Clinton Kakaden. Hope they find their feet soon. The gap between D-Max and Chris Drarisma may be wide, but that doesn't mean D-Max is safe. They have to keep their concentration and avoid any lapses in performance. It looks like Megasaurus 55 is pushing hard to catch up to Eric Wolf's. The gap is over a second, but Megasaurus 55 is not giving up just yet. Can they close the distance and make a move on Eric Wolf's? Things are getting spicy as Superman is breathing down Jerg Yu's neck. The gap? Mate, you couldn't slide a credit card between them.
A misjudgment by either driver could result in a close encounter of the tire barrier kind, and that's one handshake they'll want to avoid.
The gap between Superman and Jerg Yu is fading faster than the last rays of the outback sun.
Holy smokes, Superman's extracting every ounce of horsepower from that power unit. They're tailing Jerg Yu tighter than a belt after Thanksgiving dinner.
Someone should tell Jerg Yu this ain't a Sunday drive. Superman's tearing up the track. Tell ya what, Not Clinton Kakaden's trailing harder than my belt after Christmas dinner. Reckon he's got a plan up his sleeve. Stop the press. Not Clinton Kakaden is in the pits. Looks like Not Clinton Kakaden is chasing Mike O'Hagan harder than a croc chasing a tourist who's lost their thongs. It's a bit of a long shot, but we all remember that one time at the pub, right?
My mama used to say, you can't shine if you don't try. Guess Not Clinton Kakaden missed that lesson. Just like my pie-making class.
It's a tight race with Jurg Yu in 11th, just managing to stay ahead of Megasaurus 55 in 12 by a margin of 1.0 seconds. We got a close battle as Megasaurus 55 closes in on Jurg Yu.
The slightest mistake from either driver could lead to a meeting with the barriers, and nobody wants an impromptu autograph session with the wall.
Megasaurus 55's been working the tyre temps, and it's paying off. Grip's better than a kangaroo on a trampoline. Watch out, Jurg Yu. The gap between Not Clinton Kakaton and Sunrider is not insurmountable, but it's going to take a mistake from Not Clinton Kakaton to bring Sunrider into play. A twist in our tail. Not Clinton Kakaton slipping more than a bar of soap in a bath, now at 4th. Hold on to your hats. Megasaurus 55 is gunning for Jurg Yu. Reckon we might see some cheeky moves on the next bend?
Should things go south between Megasaurus 55 and Jurg Yu, we might witness a high-speed game of bumper cars, but trust me, it's way less fun with real race cars.
The tension is palpable. Who will come out on top in this epic showdown? A strategic misstep perhaps? Jurg Yu's place has shifted to 13th. The plot thickens.
Such position changes can be deceptive. It might look like a setback for Jurg Yu, but seasoned viewers know better. The race is far from over.
Every race has its highs and lows. Today, Jurg Yu acquaints themselves with a new perspective at 14th. Good on ya, Jurg Yu. Trailing so far back, reckon the front pack has already written the eulogy.
I've seen funeral processions move faster than Jurg Yu right now. Come to think of it, at least they've got a destination in mind.
The gap might be more than a second, but Eddie G is showing persistence. Kind of like me trying to open a pickle jar. Keep it, and something's got to give. Crikey, that overtake by Eddie G was smoother than a coldie on a hot summer day.
Well, from what I've seen on the oval tracks, that's how the big leagues play. But I gotta admit, this is next level.
Every gear shift, every pedal push, Megasaurus 55's got one goal in mind, capturing Eric Wolf's spot. Mate, Megasaurus 55's creeping up on Eric Wolf's like a dingo on a picnic. Must have tweaked that brake bias a touch to the rear. A brilliant maneuver from Megasaurus 55, who has just moved up the field. It's an intense battle for position as Eric Wolfs tries to outmaneuver Megasaurus 55. This is edge of your seat racing. It's not going to plan for Eric Wolfs. They are still behind Megasaurus 55 and the gap is increasing. I don't think they have an answer for this right now. Good on ya, Chris Draresma. Not letting D-Max get too comfy up front. Reckon he's planning a bit of a "good day mate" on the next corner? It seems like Chris Draresma is pushing. They are on for recording their best lap so far this race. It may seem like Eric Wolfs is far behind, but Megasaurus 55 can't afford to let their guard down. One mistake could give Eric Wolfs an opening to catch up.
It's like Megasaurus 55's out on the open highway and Eric Wolfs is still getting directions at the last gas station. Got a bit of catching up to do.
While YOV is not under immediate threat from Eddie G, they still need to stay focused and avoid any errors. Any slip-up could cost them their position.
It's a game of inches and miles. Right now, Yov's got the miles, and Eddie's counting the inches.
Crikey, Yovi's lead is slipping away quicker than a roux on the hop. Eddie G is now just 6.3 seconds behind. Anyone who says that Assetto Corsa Friends is not the best racing club on the planet is clearly insane. The quality of driving we're seeing out there on the track is absolutely phenomenal.
I couldn't agree more. It's like these drivers were born to race. They're weaving in and out of traffic, taking corners at unbelievable speeds, and making it all look effortless. It's clear that they've put in the time and effort to hone their skills.
If I had $1 for every time Chris Draisma closed a gap like this, I'd have enough for a pint at the local. Get ready, D-Max, the thunder from down under is coming. By crikey, Chris Draisma's lap time is like a cold beer on a hot day, absolutely smashing. D-Max, you need a moment to recover? We are used to seeing some hard-fought but clean racing here at Assetto Corsa Friends. I'm expecting to see nothing different here today as this race unfolds. Jack M team is placed second at the moment. They are hoping to keep their distance ahead of not Clinton Kakaden, who is 7.5 seconds behind.
You know, it's like Jack M team's out on a Sunday Arvo drive. They can see not Clinton Kakaden in the rear view, but there's no rush, mate.
Even though Wayne Pearson is a fair way behind Sunrider, they can't afford to let their guard down. Sunrider is still vulnerable to mistakes.
That's right, and Wayne Pearson knows that they have to keep pushing hard.
Oh no, what's this? It looks like Mike has been called into the pits. The adrenaline is pumping as Chris Draisma gets within striking distance of D-Max in their race for 12th. Hold on to your stubbies. Chris Draisma is closing in on D-Max like a bachelor at the end of a Bucks night. Hope D-Max either brought some lube or protection. The gap between Eric Wolfs and D-Max may be wide, but that doesn't mean Eric Wolfs is safe. They have to keep their concentration and avoid any lapses in performance. Eric Wolfs is losing time to D-Max like a leaky tap dripping water. A bit more slip, and we'll be in for a real dogfight. Ladies and gents, we've got ourselves a high-speed pursuit. Chris Draisma is stalking D-Max's every move. Crikey, Chris Draisma's moving up faster than a cold one disappears on a hot day. They've clinched 12th.
That's what we like to see. Chris Draisma is really showing their class today.
It's tighter than a wallaby in a pouch out there.
I'll try and translate this, and on this side of the pond, it's closer than a hot dog in a bun. Back in my racing days, I just let folks like Chris Draisma pass, but that's probably why I'm up here talking, not down there driving.
Hold on a moment, bloody hell, Mr. Bang just took a quick detour to the outback. Maybe they saw a kangaroo on the track or something.
Racing at Francorchamps, endurance is like a box of chocolates, you never know what you're gonna get. Today, Mr. Bang got the lemon.
Mr. Bang is pitting. It may seem like YOV is far behind, but Mr. Bang can't afford to let their guard down. One mistake could give YOV an opening to catch up. While Eric Wolfs is not under immediate threat from Chris Draisma, they still need to stay focused and avoid any errors. Any slip-up could cost them their position. The gap between D-Max and Simon Barnes is not insurmountable, but it's going to take a mistake from D-Max to bring Simon Barnes into play. Well, butter my biscuits, Hal. D-Max is watching their lead over Simon Barnes shrivel faster than a prune in the sun. We're down to just 4.9 seconds.
D-Max is walking a razor's edge here. They need to keep their wits about them and stave off the relentless pressure from Simon Barnes.
Mr. Bang's more lost out there than I was after a night at the Gold Coast. And at least I woke up with a kebab in hand. Mr. Bang's giving it a red-hot go, but can't seem to muster the pace to keep up with Eddie G. It's like chasing a roux on a motorbike. The fans are on the edge of their seats. It doesn't get any closer than this.
If Superman gets any closer to Chris Drasman, they'll need to start sending out wedding invitations.
I reckon they've had a few secret lessons down under. Superman's just breezed into 11th. The gap between Chris Drasman and Superman is razor thin as they vie for 11th in this nail-biting contest. An impressive showing from Chris Drasman, who has gained positions and left Superman in the dust. It's a game of inches now as Superman tails Chris Drasman closely, ready to capitalize on any mistake.
The chase between Superman and Chris Drasman is like a high-speed game of tag only. The stakes are much higher. Someone's
revved up after lunch. Superman's blitzed ahead, claiming 11th.
Amazing stuff. Focus and precision, what it's all about.
You know, Hal, it's been a relatively quiet race so far.
That's right, Rob.
Wait, Simon Barnes has pulled into the pits. The echo of the exhausts, the rubber meeting road, and there's YOV, commanding the 5th. This is where the skill and experience of the drivers really come into play. Wayne Pearson will need to stay focused and keep pushing, even when the gap seems insurmountable. It's not over until the checkered flag drops. Well, I'll be a monkey's Uncle Hal, but Wayne Pearson's plans have gone walkabout right now. They're having a proper Barry Crocker keeping up with Eddie G. Even though not Clinton Kakadin is a fair way behind Jack M Team, they can't afford to let their guard down. Jack M Team is still vulnerable to mistakes. Oi, someone tell Jack M Team this isn't a Sunday Arvo drive to the Bottle O. Not Clinton Kakadin's making him look a bit slow out of the gate.
Daggone, Jack M Team's spinning their wheels like a chicken with its head cut off. And not Clinton Kakadin, like a kid in a candy store, leading the pack.
You can feel the tension in the air.
The drivers are all focused, putting everything on the line for a chance at victory, pushing themselves and their machines to the limit.
And let's not forget about the incredible machines themselves.
Absolutely. It's amazing to think about the kind of engineering and innovation that goes into making these vehicles. But it all comes down to the drivers, who have to be able to handle the power and speed. It's going to be thrilling seeing how this race turns out.
The gap between Superman and Chris Drasman may be wide, but that doesn't mean Superman is safe. They have to keep their concentration and avoid any lapses in performance. Excellent work from Superman, who has managed to increase their lead over Chris Drasman. They seem to have found their rhythm and they are grooving to it.
It's clear as day that Superman is holding all the cards. They're making it near impossible for Chris Drasman to close that gap.
Mike is placed first at the moment. They are hoping to keep their distance ahead of Jack M Team, who is 14.8 seconds behind.
If this was a country song, O'Hagan would be the one riding off into the sunset, and Jack M Team would still be tying their boots.
Mike O'Hagan is holding on to this lead like a possum up a gum tree, but Jack M Team is closing in, down to 11.4 seconds. It may seem like Wayne Pearson is far behind, but Eddie G can't afford to let their guard down. One mistake could give Wayne Pearson an opening to catch up.
Eddie's setting the pace out there. Now, it's on Wayne Pearson to find the rhythm and get back in this dance.
Crikey, Eddie's flat out like a lizard drinking, pulling away from Wayne Pearson with quite a clip. The evolution of these cars over the years is nothing short of incredible. The aerodynamics, the tire technology, it's all a game of innovation.
Couldn't have said it better. And to think about the data analytics behind every decision, from tire pressures to wing adjustments. It's not just a sport, it's a symphony of engineering and strategy.
While Mike is not under immediate threat from Jack M team, they still need to stay focused and avoid any errors. Any slip up could cost them their position.
That's very true, and Jack M team knows that as well. They have to drive their own race and wait for Mike to make a mistake if they want to have any chance of overtaking.
The tension is thick enough to cut with a knife. Superman's inching ever closer to Chris Drarisma. No room for error here. Jerg Yu is breathing down the neck of Superman, waiting for the perfect chance to make their move. Jerg Yu just blitzed past Superman like they were standing still.
Go, 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 that's what we want to see.
Mate, Jerg Yu's really giving it a burl out there, ripping it up like a croc in a waterhole.
I tell ya, I haven't seen that kind of ferocity since my days at Indy. But you Aussies, always gotta bring up the wildlife, huh?
Alright, hold your horses. Superman is really putting the heat on Jerg Yu. If I were Jerg Yu, I'd be checking those mirrors non-stop. The gap between Superman and Jerg Yu is getting smaller. Huge shout out to the admins at Assetto Corsa friends for making this all possible. Without their hard work and dedication, we wouldn't be able to witness this incredible event.
That's right, Rob, and the excitement is palpable. I can feel it in my circuits. I mean, this is the kind of race that people will be talking about in the bar. We're witnessing history in the making.
And Jerg Yu is having to make that radical state route free as wide as possible to try and keep Superman behind them.
If Superman gets any closer to the back of Jerg Yu, then one of them is going to need some lube if they want to take this further. A commanding performance from Jerg Yu, who has increased their lead over Superman, putting them firmly in their rearview mirrors. It's really looking like Jerg Yu is going to be tough to pass today. They're driving with real confidence and authority.
You ever wonder, Rob, how much preparation goes into each race weekend? It's not just about the driver, but the hundreds behind the scenes, making every little detail count.
Oh, absolutely. The hours spent in the simulator, the mechanics working overnight on those tweaks. Racing is as much about team spirit and dedication as it is about speed on the track. It's a collective masterpiece.
This is what racing is all about. Two fierce competitors pushing each other to the limit.
Remember that time Superman made that audacious move on the last lap? Feels like deja vu, doesn't it, Rob?
Oh mate, D-Max is more out of place than a vegan at a Bunnings sausage sizzle. Time to throw another gear on the Barbie.
Just like my attempt at barbecue last summer. D-Max is burning time, but ain't getting any hotter.
It's a battle of wills out there, each driver trying to outsmart and outmaneuver the other. It's like Mike has saved all their energy for this final stretch.
That's an impressive burst of speed. It's all but said and done now.
What a win! This is a historic moment for Mike, who put on a masterclass in driving today. What a display of skill and precision. Mr. Bang take 8th. What a drive from Jack M team, securing a great second place finish. Well done to Not Clinton Kakadin for securing 3rd place on the podium. With D-Max in 14th. Followed by Megasaurus 55 in 9th. Taking 10th is Eric Wolfs. Chris Drarisma brings home 11th. Superman end in 12th. Jurg Yu claimed 13th. Sunrider in 4th. Finishing 15th is Simon Barnes. Fifth is YOV. Sixth sees Eddie G. Followed by Wayne Pearson in 7th.